It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 27th day of August, 2021. A lot of craziness going on this morning. Oh, I see what Jason did. Thank you, Jason, for the super chat. He asked me to pick a number between 1 and 10. I said 4. And I got a super chat for $4. Well, he said I should have picked 10. Oh, well, that happens. So a couple serious things to get on to this morning. Televangelist Jim Bakker complains that God cannot hear prayers through masks. I would dispute that as he or she certainly heard mine through the worst days of the pandemic. And the other thing, Hot Air Tom is working in strictly, utterly deplorable conditions in Key West. Now, those two things have absolutely nothing in common as long as I got a smile from somebody's face. Actually, Hot Air Tom is monitoring the judge ruling on Governor DeSantis' no mask mandate, which is happening right now. And he's going to let us know if something comes through on that. So I'll keep glancing over at my screen to see if we hear from Hot Air Tom. Cindy laughed at me. Well, good. I'm glad somebody did. Okay. Weather possibility of 2 hurricanes. Oh, yeah, the Air Force and NOAA aircraft. By the way, do you know why NOAA is called NOAA? It's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. When they were building the plane to stick on letters, they ran out of them. And so they said it was going to be NOAA from now. We can't put that many letters on the edge of a plane. Air Force and NOAA aircraft have been flying in and out and around Ida all morning as it has started strengthening rather rapidly. The last numbers I had, it was 75 miles north-northwest of Grand Cayman, 115 miles southeast of the Isle of Youth, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Now, that's been about an hour ago since I got that reading. Present movement northwest at 13 miles an hour. Pressure's down to 996 millibars. The center of Ida will move away from the Caymans today, pass near or over the Isle of Youth in western Cuba later today, and then over the southeastern and central Gulf of Mexico tonight and early tomorrow, which is extraordinarily warm, which means the system could approach the northern Gulf Coast tomorrow night to early Sunday. And because it's a good possibility, because of the warm water primarily, there's other factors, it could go through rapid and strengthening today. So it's forecast to become a hurricane over the southeastern Gulf and could be a major hurricane by the time it gets to the Gulf Coast, which could be late Saturday afternoon, or would be the earliest, to Saturday evening, Saturday night, and then to early Sunday. This could develop into a major one, guys. You can expect 12 to 18 inches of rain. You can have some wind. Wind's not as bad as others at this point. Depends on how much it intensifies. High surf and tremendous storm surge could have up to 11 feet of storm surge anywhere along the Gulf Coast. Now, this could go anywhere from the Florida Panhandle all the way across to pushing towards Houston. So just don't have the a real shot as to where the most likely target is New Orleans right now. But then the magnet for hurricanes is next door, Port Charles. Remember, they had two, Laura and Delta last year, back to back, that were direct hits on Port Charles. So, all right, on the map there, the other one that actually we've got to watch both of them now, but the one closest to Bermuda is an elongated area of low pressure over the central Atlantic. It is currently forecast to be strengthening during the day, expected to move slowly eastward during the next day or two. But by the weekend, it could develop into something big. Looking at 50 to 60% chance. Tropical wave located between Cabo Verde and the Lesser Antilles continues to produce a large area of disorganized showers. That, of course, is the one furthest to the south and east toward Africa. Gradual development of this system is expected, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next couple of days. So both of these systems could be tropical depressions or tropical storms. Now, this last one they're talking about 70 to 80%. So in the Atlantic, we're looking at one hurricane and two tropical storms possibly by the weekend. Now, the other problem, and by the way, the current path of what may or should be a Hurricane Ida, that shows it where it goes in toward New Orleans and curves around up through Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. Yesterday we were looking at it coming in a little further to the east, so that big turn to the east threw it more toward my direction here in Virginia. So the further west it goes is the less likelihood I'm going to have to deal with it here. The further east it goes, the more likelihood that I'll have to deal with it here. So just a personal note there. Now, Pacific is a whole nother story altogether. This one has changed considerably as we've been watching it. This is Nora. Heavy rains from Nora are spreading on shore along the coasts of Mexico through Oaxaca, Guerrero, and Michoacan. The latest reading I had on it was 240 miles south-southwest of Lazaro, Cadenas, Mexico, about 305 miles south of Manzanilla, Mexico. Currently 50-mile-an-hour winds. Presently, it's moving off at 12 miles an hour to the west-northwest. Pressure's down to about 999. The center of Nora will approach the southwestern coast of Mexico today or tonight and pass very near the coast on Saturday and Saturday night. Nora will then approach the southern portion of Baja California Sur on Sunday. Recent satellite and wind data indicate that Nora's maximum sustained winds have increased to 50 plus now with higher gusts. Strengthening is forecast during the next few days, and Nora is expected to become a hurricane by tomorrow. Nora is a large tropical storm. The tropical storm force winds extend outward about 230 miles at the last reading. So there you have it, folks. We could easily have two hurricanes and two tropical storms before this weekend is over. So the season has definitely heated up, as it were. So we'll just have to see what happens. Of course, we'll stay on this channel. We'll keep watching it as we go. Let's see. if Tom has said anything. I'll jump over here before I get to a couple stories and check back on Carol, Amy, Nikki, Tom, Andrea. Most of what the judge is saying seems to me he will go against DeSantis. The captain of the sailboat last night, Sunset Sail, said he expected fringe winds and rain this evening from Ida. Yeah, I could see you could get a little rain from it there, but it's not going to be bad in Key West as it passes by to your west, well to your west. Breezy and overcast right now in Key West. Okay, I'll go back to cover a couple things and then we'll head back over to oh yeah, I meant to tell you, I started on this, got sidetracked about a hot air Tom. Now, this is the deplorable conditions that he's working in. You see that he sticks under the thatched roof. That's a bar, folks. And then he has to look out at that just awful swimming pool and probably maidens in bikinis. Shouldn't I say that? Maybe I shouldn't say that. With Cindy listening, that could be terribly dangerous for Tom. I mean, I don't mean to put him in a bad spot. Yes, I do. But anyway, that's where we are now. Tom is probably having I've forgotten the cocktail already because it's not one that I knew. The cocktail that Bubba published today was oh well. I was going to say that Tom was under there sipping on a cocktail that Bubba had suggested in his drink of the day today. But somehow that one has gone from my memory. That's a senior moment. But anyway, that and any of the silliness this morning had absolutely nothing serious about it. So anyway, Tom, let us know if the judge says something we need to know. All right. Where was I? We only have really one story today, and that's, of course, on Carnival Panorama, and that broke yesterday. Only a week after the Panorama returned to service, the West Coast-based ship is experiencing a technical issue that will impact guests on at least one sailing. The third Vista-class cruise ship is suffering from an issue related to its maximum cruising speed. Carnival Cruise Line sent out a letter to guests letting them know about the problem and that their time in Cabo San Lucas yesterday would be altered and with a delayed arrival back at the port of Long Beach this weekend. So, as a result, the ship will be arriving later than scheduled on Saturday morning, and consequently, her departure will be adjusted to 5:30 p.m. If you purchase Carnival's Fly to Fun, that's their in-house air, the letter says we'll automatically reschedule any flights to depart no earlier than 2 p.m. Guests who made their own flight arrangements are advised to do the same, with Carnival offering to reimburse any incurred change fees of up to $200 per person. Some of you might remember that a similar problem happened back pre-pandemic on the Carnival Vista and several other ships in the summer of 2019. In that situation, there were several ships that got had cruises canceled and put off while those azapods were repaired. The reason I remember that, folks, I didn't know what the hell an azapod was until that happened. But anyway, it seems like that may be what's wrong with the Panorama, although the Panorama is not talking about it at this point. So that's what's happening there. There is, which brings a question to mind, folks, on airfare. And I seriously have a question for any of you to answer. Basically, if you're booking air, you can book it through the cruise line, through a travel agent, or book it yourself. Over the years, I've done all three. The last cruises that I canceled was my European soiree that I was supposed to do this fall. And I had booked airfare through Norwegian because it was, like $600 cheaper than I could get it myself. I was not using an travel agent on this particular trip, because it was so complex with everything that we were doing, and me meeting Pete, and we had hotels set up and the whole shooting match. So, I tried to do it myself and went straight with Norwegian. I didn't use a travel agent because it was, I thought, too complex and a pain in the butt for an agent to do. So, but it was a bargain through the airline. I have also directly used travel agents in the past, as I have used several times. I have used Vacations to Go and gotten them to handle my air. Other times I've used Vacations to Go and other travel agents and had the agents themselves do it. What have you found to be the best way of handling airfare? Or do you check multiple sources before you decide how you're going to go? I've been doing that too. But like I say, the last time, going directly with the cruise line, having them book my air was way cheaper. So I just throw that out to get y'all's opinion and what some of you guys do. All right, let's see what else is happening over here. I don't know. How far did I get? Tom says those pics were in Key Largo at the Holiday Inn. Oops. Oh well. I didn't know. I thought those were the pictures from Key West. Carol says, keep those hurricanes south of the border. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's see who we got in here. Gretchen's here. Jason says it'll hit New Orleans, obviously. Jason has to mow the lawn again. Yeah, I quit doing that. That's one of the things that I have farmed out now and no longer handle myself. Gretchen says later it'll be 87 and ungodly human. We will be praying for a quick thunderstorm to cool it down. Cindy says those storms are stressful. Yeah, and that's the truth. Jason says, Cindy, we're sailing soon. Tom Henry says he's had a bushwhacker and a chocolate martini or a pina colada. All today? Busted up ship. Laugh out loud. Not old enough to be falling apart yet. Yeah, I hear you. It seemed slow when I was on it in February 2020. Oh, that's right. You were on you were on the Panorama and it seemed slow. Well, they didn't have troubles with it then, but they sure got them now. And they haven't said that it's azopods. It might be something else. I mean, maybe they, ran across a nest of barbed wire or something. I don't know. Cindy says, I'm so excited, but the news on the Delta variant is making me nervous. So glad Carnival changed their protocol. So Jason says, Cindy, nothing to worry about. Trust me, it's going to be a cruise to remember. I want to be on a cruise with Jason one of these days. I got to get on a cruise with him. That's definite. I remember Lure of the Sea had a problem also, almost went on it, but that was another COVID cancellation. Tom says, cruise Norwegian 100% vacation, no unvaccinated kids allowed. Yeah, that's so far has been the way of the world. So I'm getting dinged in here. Who's dinging me? Oh, Tom was sending a bunch of pictures from Fort Lauderdale. From Key West. Okay, I've got a bunch of pictures now. I won't be able to upload them while I'm online without probably screwing something up. So I'll have some pictures from Key West tomorrow from Hot Air Tom. And he does have the chickens. He's been out there chasing the chicken around. I will prove that tomorrow morning. So, I got a whole bunch of pictures in from Tom. So that'll be good. Jason says, my celebrity cruise was last minute. So I just used Spirit and got lucky as hell. I would have no problem with Spirit. I mean, I realize they canceled a whole bunch of stuff if they survived this. I'd still, use them. If the price is right, I'm going to jump on it. I try to save as much money as I can so I can run up those $1,000 bar bills, folks. I don't do that anymore. Carol says, I booked my air through Princess Easy Air. You can't beat the prices and the fact you're covered if there are any problems. That's one of the reasons that I'm asking the question, is because I realize that having somebody just for that one time that you need it is worth it. And I know the one time that I had a group that was before Katrina that went in, as a matter of fact, it went into New Orleans 2 days late because we had sailed around out in the Gulf. And if I remember correctly, I had 39 people on that cruise or somewhere in that vicinity. And of course, everybody's, 2 days late. You couldn't get flights out. We got booked into a motel, but thankfully I was booked through a travel agent who was able to quarterback my problems on the ground. So that helped tremendously. So that's why I've used a travel agent a good bit of the time. But when I've really tried to save a little money and do things myself, although the travel agent sometimes is just as cheap, but with airfare specifically, I'm seeing a lot of sense in letting the airlines handle it, both money-wise and the fact that if the airline does something, they're going to get you home. So when I get back to where I can cruise again, I'm going to rethink that and maybe just go with let the cruise lines book it, or have an travel agent book it, and they take care of all of it. Cindy says, Tom, I had one plan on the Sky, changed to Jim, canceled for the Horizon cruise because that's what my group wanted. Yeah, I love NCL. We're big NCL people in this group. I like NCL too. So, of course, I like Holland America. I like everybody I've been on, So Tom says, I'm just catching up with Tom's comments. He's going to have to send me some pictures. Yeah, he sent me some pictures. We'll take care of that tomorrow. Gretchen says, I have been something by 85% off. Oh, getting 85% off offers from Spirit, but there's only a 50% chance you'll get to fly. Yeah, well, the odds are not very much in favor there. And Jason says, Gretchen, me too. He's been getting them all also. Tom says a chocolate martini at the show Wednesday night. Okay, at the Dre show. Nikki says our next cruise is in October in France. We booked our flights and planned to fly into Italy and travel through Switzerland. Unsure of everything, we canceled and booked through the cruise line. Tom says, check my messenger. Lots of pics just sent with the drag show guys. Cool. Well, we will definitely take care of that for tomorrow. Jason says, hot air Tom dinging in. Yes, he was dinging in. That was him sending pictures. I can't complain at all. Gretchen says, at least you get your cash back on the flight through the cruise line. No use later vouchers. Yeah, that was the one thing that when I lost the Alaska cruise, which I had booked the air myself, because I was going to go through Los Angeles for some personal reasons and then fly up to Vancouver and sail from Vancouver. And then from Vancouver, I was coming back to Virginia, not back to Los Angeles. So I booked all that myself. And one of the air links in there was Air Alaska. And they at first wouldn't refund my money. They wanted to give you credits. Well, what's the chance of me needing Air Alaska again, or Alaska Air, whatever the hell it is? But eventually they did refund the money. I just had to wait for it a little longer than everybody else. Tom says, I might not fit in a Spirit seat. Yeah, well, that's, that, and then they got to have the seatbelt with the extensor thing. I call them fat man seatbelts. I have to have that too, because the regular seatbelt doesn't fit around my fat butt. That's not my butt, but goes over my butt and around. But hot air Tom, they are very nice to people like Chillie. That's a good thing to know. I like fat people. Tom says, okay, you just need to convert Jason to NCL. I will do NCL, don't worry, says Jason. Amy's with us. Hi, Amy. Amy says, I used Royal Caribbean Air when I flew to Nassau last month to go on Adventure of the Seas, but I was able to pick which flights I wanted, and I did use a travel agent. Okay. I'm not saying there's a right way of doing this, folks. I'm just getting some of y'all's opinions on it. Tom says this trip was plan B from a triple cruise on NCL. Scott, guess we may see the Sky next August instead. Cindy loves the Sky. Been on it 4 times. I love the sister ship, the Sun. And that was one of my favorite ships as well. I'm old fashioned. I like the smaller ships as opposed to the bigger ships. And I know there's a lot of reasons for liking the bigger ships. But I guess I've been doing it so long that, I'm used to a lot smaller ship. But I will still go on a big ship. Don't worry. I will. Tom says he loved the Sun. Wanted to check the Sky out. Seems Sky does not have as many of the specialty Restaurants as the sun. Love the amphitheater. Yeah, I like the amphitheater as well. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up today. I did get in the pool yesterday after my week that they wouldn't let me get in water. Stayed out there a good bit of the afternoon yesterday. I do have my first session back with the pulmonary therapy this afternoon. And I'm sure after missing a week there, they're going to work my butt off today. So, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm looking forward to it, actually. But that's ahead for today. So everybody stay safe. Watch out for the weather. Hopefully it's not going to be in anybody's path until it gets up there to New Orleans. And then, you know, we got some folks in New Orleans. We got some folks in Mississippi that you might have to be watching a little bit for this one. So, but we'll have an update on that tomorrow morning as well. Plus, lots of hot stuff from Key West, from Hot Air Tom. That's it for me for today, guys. Y'all stay safe. Have a great day. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow. This is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.